Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today. Happy Friday. Hope all of you are doing absolutely fantastic. Today, we got ourselves another roundup of Xbox news and information. We're going to be talking about PlayStation and what many Xbox fans are receiving as a little jab to the stomach there. Liver shot from Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer. He's down on the mat now. I don't think so. We're also going to be talking about Xbox and their presence at Gamescom, as it has been confirmed, and what we may expect to see there. Last but certainly not least, we're going to be talking about Psychonauts 2 and another exciting game being added to Game Pass that went over my head, so maybe it went over yours as well. With that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. If you're new here, you're looking for Xbox news, information, coverage, all that great stuff, consider subscribing. Now, let's talk about PlayStation. So, it was confirmed earlier this week that we're getting God of War Ragnarok on November 11th, 2022. I love to see this because I feel like the one thing this fall was missing was that centerpiece, right? You had all these different dishes and appetizers, or everything was just sitting around the table, but you didn't bring in the Thanksgiving turkey yet. This is the Thanksgiving turkey. This is the kind of milestone game we're all gonna stop and play and be excited about. And I love that because now we're gonna have the year bookended with like two awesome looking games, right? You had Elden Ring to start things off, and to me, God of War Ragnarok to cap things off. Not to say there aren't other games in that vicinity that are very exciting, but there is something that we're all gonna be thinking about throughout the rest of the year, like, oh, I can't wait to play that one. And I say that as someone who liked God of War 2018. I didn't love it like I think pretty much everyone around me does, so I understand I'm an outlier, but I thought the game was great. I'm excited for more. However, what's happened here is I've seen some conversation pick up some scuttlebutt across the Xbox community. Did PlayStation throw a little punch with this release date? For those who don't remember, Starfield was set to come out November 11th this year. It leaves, there's a big void in the middle of November, and God of War just cozies up right next to that date and says November 9th, here we are. Let me give you the short answer, no. The long answer, companies don't care like a lot of you consumers seem to care about petty console war bullshit, if I could just be very blunt. What's happening here is you have a game that has been through up and down development, it seems, right? It was announced at the end of the showcase just ahead of the PlayStation 5 coming out. It was sort of the stinger at the end, like, oh, and there's God of War. It's coming in 2021, they said. I didn't believe that from day one. I think everyone didn't buy into that. We had a feeling it'd get delayed. It did get delayed. Now it's set to come out at the end of this year. PlayStation's been kind of quiet with this game. It's been expected for a while and fans are getting restless. Like, when are we getting a release date? We finally do get it in a pretty anticlimactic way. And the reality is the game's just ready at this point. It's good to launch in the heart of the holiday season. That's what's best for PlayStation. It's not like, ooh, Starfield was there. Let's take their spot. Could it be an added optics bonus? Yes, but when you have a project that is as important as God of War, that you've sank millions and millions and millions and millions, wait for it, and millions of dollars into, and it is to be your holiday centerpiece, this BS optics level victory on, ooh, God of War took Starfield's spot. I can't even fathom how people came to this conclusion. So again, that's my long answer. No, this wasn't a jab from PlayStation. They're just releasing their game in the best window for God of War. It is a powerful IP. It deserves that holiday attention. It's gonna get that holiday attention. And I can't wait to play it. We got something to really look forward to with a bunch of other awesome alternatives there. And I feel like this holiday season has really taken shape now. Plus, probably more surprises that we're waiting for. So yes, God of War coming out November 9th, 2022. Don't think too much about the Starfield God of War competition. And I'm kind of glad these two are separated now because I want them both to have their own window where we can talk about and enjoy it and just let the games be on their own instead of this console war fanboyism I'm seeing so much, because God of War is already becoming subject to weird stuff that like Halo Infinite was. Remember when people were like shooting the fruit in Halo Infinite and comparing it to Call of Duty? And look, I've been very critical of Halo Infinite, but that was like next level ridiculousness and denial. And now God of War, they used the paddle animation from the previous game and they're like, oh man, Sony Santa Monica got really lazy with that one, huh? I'm like, yo, y'all don't know a thing about game development, and it scares me. Like, as I've gotten deeper into it, it's scary how little some people know. And I'm not trying to be a know-it-all, because I'm not. Got a lot to learn personally, but my God, some people don't even think past the surface level, and it's getting sad. So yeah, that's what's going on with God of War. Not a jab, just a great game coming out. Hopefully great, at least. With that, let's talk more about Xbox directly. So it's been confirmed that they will be at Gamescom 2022 with updates on already announced games. Announced via a press release, Xbox has revealed it will be attending this year's Gamescom event in Cologne, Germany, toward the end of the summer. According to the press release, attendees should expect updates on some announced games coming to Xbox in the next 12 months and a chance to hang out as a community again in person. This will be set from the 23rd to the 28th of August, so you can keep an eye out then, where Xbox will have their presence felt. I thought this was kind of nice to see because it's to be expected that they would be there again. They were there last year. We had that very interesting Xbox showcase at Gamescom that still makes me uncomfortable to think about, as they reserved Halo Infinite content for Jeff Keighley's show and not their own show, but I digress. They're going to be there. Updates on announced games. What will those updates be? I think the first thought for many of you out there is the big two. Redfall, Starfield. Are they there? I think hold the phone on that. I think, just like I talked about in yesterday's video, that QuakeCon is going to be big this year, and I think you're really going to feel Bethesda's presence there. That's always been the Bethesda conference. They already have a platform there established. They already have an audience there, an opportunity to announce stuff for themselves in their own little vacuum. Let their games have that moment. I know Starfield would take over pretty much anything, but my point being is you don't really have to fight for space with that. But still, Bethesda has their own platform. Use Gamescom to market other games. So I don't expect Redfall or Starfield here, not because they're not ready or something. I just think there's a different platform for them to be announced on. So you look at other games that could get updates. I would say maybe something along the lines of like Forza will show up there. I think we get updates on things like Hollow Knight Silksong. Maybe that's something that does appear at this showcase as sort of like, here's finally the release date, right? Because what was funny is it finally got re-revealed at the Xbox Bethesda showcase. It's day one Game Pass. This game's clearly been through, I don't want to say development hell, but it's just been really going dark on multiple occasions. So maybe we finally get a release date during that. That would be a positive thing. Look, all I'm saying is just no Trebuchet documentaries. Let that be a thing of the past. Can we just take a second to pause and process reality? We have to ask during a game showcase that we don't get like a documentary style thing. And I get it, Age of Empires is very history focused, but good Lord, read the room. Someone, please. This is a games showcase. We don't need to know about trebuchets. Clearly, I'm still scarred from that showcase, as you could tell some of my frustration. There's some trauma within Gamescom, it would seem, for me. But anyway, yes, you're going to expect some updates on these announced games. I'm sure maybe some Game Pass announcements will be tucked in there as well. And yes, there are so many games announced for 2023 that I think they're going to leave those for that year to talk about them more and provide more updates on things coming soon. Like perhaps more on High on Life. That would be awesome to see more of that game. I'm very excited for that one. Maybe more on A Plague Tale Requiem. That would also be great to see. So that's kind of where my expectations are right now, but you can expect more updates on exclusives as well as day one Game Pass games, I would imagine. So with that, let's move on to our next bit of news here, which comes from I Am 8-Bit. It has been confirmed that Psychonauts 2 is getting a physical release, which is so deserved. I couldn't believe it never got one in the first place, but I Am 8-Bit is stepping up in the clutch. They're doing a physical version. It's coming out to PlayStation and Xbox Series X/Xbox One on September 27th. Now, are you ready for pain? This is the tough part. This is the part that I just can't believe it. Like, this is such, I feel, a missed opportunity that's going to weed out so many people like myself. I loved Psychonauts 2. One of the top 10 games of the year last year, in my opinion. But I don't $130 love it for a physical copy. Because what they're selling is the Psychonauts 2 Motherload Edition, The Motherload Edition, as you'll see here, includes not only Psychonauts 2, but the original Psychonauts in a separate disc. So they're reprinting the original game, which is really cool. Then it also has a lenticular O sleeve, 6 art cards, a sticker pack, a digital download code for a behind-the-scenes development concept, a collector's edition exclusive reversible cover, and then there's also volumes 1, 2, and 3 of the soundtrack, a pin set, a blacklight poster of Raz, a poster of Raz's archetype, another sticker sheet, and a beautiful collector's box, all for $130. I think, number one, a little too high price, but if you're a super fan of Psychonauts, I get it. Look, you're looking at the guy who spent hundreds of dollars on KOTOR Master Edition, hundreds of dollars on TMNT, Shredder's Revenge, Radical Edition. Like, I get it. When you love something, money don't matter. So I'm there with you. I get that energy and I can match you. But for me, as someone who liked Psychonauts 2 a lot and would love to have the physical game added to my collection, I am just stunned at the like, no one's gonna sell the game separately for like $40, $50. I think people will be lining up to buy just physically produced versions of this game, but they're selling them only in the Motherload. That's the only thing you can get. I combed the website, at least as of this moment in time, there is no separate physical version. I would be very shocked if this remains the case, but if it is, what a tremendous missed opportunity. Because for many of you who may or may not recall, Limited Run Games has started producing Xbox Limited Run games, which is really exciting. Now, one of the first things I speculate about, like, what's game number one? I'm like, you got to do Psychonauts 2. First party game, should have been there in the first place. Limited Run has so many people who are just lining up to collect their stuff. Like, it all just makes sense. Get Psychonauts 2 a physical copy. They don't. And now we're seeing here who they went to. I am 8-bit. And what they have here is cool. Like, the idea of another Psychonauts 1 is awesome. But man, $130, I can't do it. I can't do it. Don't love Psychonauts that much. But for those who do, that's out there. Go ahead, check it out. With that, we get into our last small bit of news here. Another addition to Xbox Game Pass Day 1. So this was one that snuck under the radar. And I guess technically it's not Day 1 Game Pass, if you will, because this is a game that came out back in last September. It's called Solasta Crown of the Magister. However, it's coming to consoles and it's just released on July 5th and it's out now and it's already available on Game Pass. So it is Day 1 console for Game Pass. This is a RPG that's recommended to me quite a lot, as many of you may or may not know, as I haven't had a chance to really talk about Larian lately. I love Larian Studios, and they made Divinity Original Sin 1, Divinity Original Sin 2. They're working on Baldur's Gate 3. They just make some of the best isometric RPGs, man. Like, so many choices, so much character development, especially in Original Sin 2. I've sworn off Baldur's Gate 3 until it's out in its official format because I just could not tolerate the early access process, which I know is what makes their games great, but I'm talking about just, you know, I want to just get my hands on the full product when it's ready. That's what I'm going to be there for. But oh my God, they make some of the best RPGs. And whenever I talk about them, people recommend to me, it's either people recommending to me Solasta or Pathfinder Kingmaker, which we made a video on last year as well. Both are apparently great RPGs. I have played Pathfinder, so I know that is a great one. But this is just something I wanted to put on your radar. If you're looking for another RPG style game that's in Game Pass, it's there Day 1 right now. May have slid under your radar. With that though, that's all the news I have for you in today's video. So let me know what you're thinking about the PlayStation Jab, what you're thinking about Xbox at Gamescom, this Psychonauts 2 physical edition that hurts my heart, as well as Solasta Crown of the Magister. Fire away. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.